Hello everybody, I'm here today with Rod, who I'm going to introduce in just a second. This is our patient of the year for the year 2018. This is the third acknowledgement of such that we've had so far. He's following in the heels and footprints of giants. Melvin, you may remember from 2016, I met him when he was 87 years old. They gave him 3 months to live. With mesothelioma and with no chemo and no radiation and no surgery. He lived 20 months and he saved his great-grandson's life by rescuing him from choking on a piece of cantaloupe in that 20-month interim. Last year we gave it to Mark, who had a 17-millimeter lung cancer. It also chose 0 surgery, 0 chemotherapy, and 0 radiation. And 26 months later, we rescanned, did a follow-up chest x-ray, and his tumor was gone. Dr. G, that's not possible. No, let me again remind you of Matthew 19:26, Luke 1:37, and Mark 10:27. Through God, all things are possible. This man on my right, named Rod, is another example of through God all things are possible. So Rod, we met each other when?
Boy, I tell you, I got to think about that now. Boy, it's been almost a year ago.
Okay. And when we met, what was your diagnosis when we met?
Stage 4 terminal prostate cancer, fully metastasized to my skeletal system.
Okay, did everybody get that? Stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer, fully metastasized to his skeletal system. Terminal means you're on your way out, buddy. Sorry, there's nothing else we can do. But, as you can see, he's still sitting there with 0 chemotherapy and 0 radiation therapy since we've met. Is that correct?
Since we met, yes.
Since we met.
Before I met you, I had a small round and then quit.
But none since then?
None.
So yeah, have at it, man. Tell the world your story.
Well, golly, short version, give me a second world, thank you. I was a long distance runner, marathoner, ultra marathoner, and I pulled a muscle, and I went in to get it checked, and they said, let's take a picture of it. They took a picture of it, an MRI, of thinking maybe it had some sciatica involvement, and the picture came back, stage 4, right at the end, terminal cancer. Bones completely full and it moving on the spinal cord, and very quickly thereafter I would be in full spinal cord compression at multiple places where the pictures of the spinal cord looked like a string that was just being bent and warped. And so we realized that we had a very, very short period of time to go before full paralysis, perhaps 1 or 2 days. It was that advanced and easy to see on the films. And so at that point we did take treatment, and oddly enough, the treatment did not reduce the tumor load at all, which was massive, but it completely targeted inside the spinal column and got rid of the compression. That was the first mysterious, mystical miracle, that it just hit those spots. And then we then did that for 2 more shots called hormone deprivation therapy, which is meant to cut off the testosterone, the primary food of of prostate cancer. And so then we went 8 months, and it stayed low, and then it flared back up. And then we decided, we're not going to go through this all again. And we took a very different approach. And we've been doing a lot of alternative treatments, and I use the word quite literally back to college football days, where we've been well coached by Dr. Gonino. And he had some ideas only 2 weeks ago that we took into play. And my PSA in this story was 4,000. And it came back to 4,000, 3 months ago. And with some suggestions that we go about this in a different way, my PSA is now 3.6. So that's 4,000 to 3.6 in less than 90 days. And what's really amazing is, by the approach we're taking,
Zero chemotherapy and zero radiation in that 90 days. Just
Exactly.
want to make sure that
Oh,
everybody
yes,
gets
right.
that. Continue. You're doing
and
great.
And then we started getting stunning results. So we're doing things. It's hard to say which one, but hydrogen peroxide, vitamin C, alpha lipoic acid, SOD, and a couple of others, glutathione, and some of them I have trouble pronouncing. But the cumulative effect has been stunning. And on top of that, we were also doing acupuncture and chiropractic. And the combination, and so right now, my blood work, with the exception of one sign called alkaline phosphatase, it's all in the normal range. My hemoglobin, hematocrit, white blood cells, and they're staying in the normal range, give or take about 3% when they drift out. They're very, very small. I have tremendously more energy. So a year ago, I was crawling around on my hands and knees. And today, I am walking and about to leave for a nice vacation in Florida at the end of this week. So what I can say is that sometimes the regular establishment has tools that can be of use for a short period of time and very carefully. But I would encourage everyone to look very much into these alternative treatments that here at the Gonino Wellness Center that I've received, and I've watched hundreds of other people receive them, and I've talked to a lot of people in the waiting room, and it's a pretty good group of happy campers here, and it's very cooperative and helpful, and they give you advice. So all I can say is that I'm very glad that I'm here, but I can't take credit for it really. I'm afraid that you can't see him on camera, but there's a dear angel sitting behind the camera that gets the credit for getting me here and a couple of other places like acupuncture and chiropractic. So please, if you're watching this, I'm not out to tear down or burn down the industrial cancer complex. I'm just saying that there are a lot of other alternatives out there, and two things to think about. And I would really strongly recommend personally, but it's only personally. One of them is if you think you have to have some conventional, very toxic, but occasionally helpful pharmaceutical intervention with chemotherapy and radiation, for sure, please don't do it without running a parallel program of doing what I'm doing and what thousands of other people here have done, and in other places around the country like this. And if possible, particularly if you catch it early enough, now mine was already, we were looking at the calendar for the end of my life by the time we caught it, which was kind of lucky that we caught it. We didn't know anything in the beginning, and so, we jumped in. But please consider combining them, or please consider, at least initially, because very rarely, even though you're told that you might be dead tomorrow, it's very rarely that emergent, that critical. So if you're just at the beginning, certainly consider the option of delaying formal treatment for 2 or 3 months, if you can deem it's reasonable, and try this. But I'm going to underline, if you don't try this solo, which I would certainly have done things a bit differently if I had known what I know now. But if you don't, please, please combine them. Don't just do chemo and radiation all by themselves. The remission rate is terrible, and in all fairness, there are things out there that will soften the side effects of radiation and chemotherapy. They're here, and if you live someplace else in the country and can't come here, they are at other places. Please, please do your homework. And I'm going to just say one more thing, and that is that when you come here, or a place like this, it's incredibly human, patient-friendly. And the cancer centers, there's some very, very good and wonderful people there, but they're so big and they're so busy that, and unless you're, I don't know, maybe a movie star or something like that, it's hard to slow everything down in order for you to learn and from them to actually listen. So again, sometimes they're really needed, but always this is needed. And if anybody's out there that doesn't have cancer, there's one more thing I've learned, and that is doing some of this as preventive several times a year will probably be one of the best investments you'll ever make. It's on an exact par with diet and exercise. And I think that covers my story, although
Thank you, Rob.
I could talk forever. I guess.
It's absolutely beautiful. I really don't have a whole lot to add to that. Injured tissues heal with nutrients, not drugs. Through God, all things are possible. He's talking about his wife, Lisa, John 14:12. For he who believes in me and the works that I do, he too will do these works. Jesus is talking about love there, y'all. That's what he's talking about. When you got somebody in the corner who loves you, it uplifts you into this healing. The energy field is healing, right? So thank you, Rod, for agreeing to come and be with us today and give your testimony. And Patient of the Year for 2018, we'll be filming Diane here in another week or two. She'll be flying in from Georgia to give her testimony about surviving metastatic ovarian cancer now for 3 years with 0 chemo and 0 radiation. Thanks a lot and have a good day.